Well, hi there, and welcome along to another edition of What's the Word? I'm Tom Malone, this week joined by Johnny Ward. He's miles away. I don't know what I've done to offend you, miles away today. David Jennings, and of course Nicola McGeady in the middle as well. How are you guys?
Not too bad.
Great.
Still a bit red-faced from
little red face,
a little mistake on Twitter during the week.
There was a peril of.
Noticed.
Was it a mistake though?
It really was a mistake.
Okay, so what did you tweet?
Else.
Just to clarify.
I said that invitation onlys halved in price for the Gold Cup into 25 to 1 from 33 to 1.
Oh dear.
And I got called the Diane Abbott of Ladbrokes. Now I was thinking of another price while writing that price. It was a typo, but nobody believed me.
Johnny, you can probably jump in and defend Nicola here because live maths on air last week. Probably.
Not
come
so
on,
good.
You've been there.
I think I believe you. Yeah. No, I do believe you. I think you were thinking 50s into 25s.
I was.
Yeah.
In my defence, I had sent an email to the Racing Post before that to prove that I know what half of 50 is.
I have the evidence if you want it.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Well, let's run us through the Gold Cup market. I suppose it was shaken up yesterday after the action at Corrin.
Well, I suppose Presenting Percy just cemented his position as favourite, 3 to 1 from 4 to 1 for the race, and I think it was worth the wait. Everyone, I think it became clear the Gold Cup picture because if he hadn't won, it would become even more confusing. So yeah, Presenting Percy, I haven't seen money really for him yet for the Gold Cup, but I think he definitely is the worthy, solid favourite at the minute. Second favourite's Native River, who hasn't won yet this season. And then, of course, Kemboy really came into the frame over Christmas and is a 6 to 1 price. Clan de Zobo, another one obviously shortened up over Christmas, is priced at 7 to 1. But obviously, Trials Day tomorrow and, of course, Dublin Racing Festival will give us even more clues.
Yeah, big shake over the next 10 days. Johnny, what do you make of Presenting Percy yesterday?
Yeah, I thought he was bomb-proof, really. David Russell said he was fairly fit, but I mean, it was his first run back, and he did pretty much everything right, and he battled on. He beat Bob Home. It's not bad form in fairness. It was a very good renewal of the Galmoy, and you go back there then for the 2.5 mile Red Mills, and I do think it'll take a hell of a performance to beat him in the Gold Cup.
The tweet of the day came from Johnny Ward at Goran after the race.
Yeah.
Trying to get a word of Pat Kelly. Explain your tweet.
Yeah, basically he wasn't for talking. He actually spoke to me afterwards, but it was kind of more off the record. But I think he mumbled something about me being an asshole or something like that. But
you always say he's a judge.
the horse had a kick out at the Goff sign in the parade ring as well after he won, so he was fairly fresh.
Yeah.
But
he seems to be doing very little late on.
I don't see any hole in him. I just now I think Road to Respect's a big chance at Cheltenham, but Presenting Percy, he's almost certain to go off favourite looking at it right now.
3 to 1, would you back him now or just wait?
No, I'd wait. I think he's the most likely winner, but he's priced like the most likely winner. The one horse I still think is overpriced and underestimated is Bell's Hill, who might be better going right-handed, but I just thought he blew up in the Savills Chase, and I think he'll obviously go back for the Irish Gold Cup, but he's just the one horse. I think when I go back and look at the race at Punchestown and go back and watch the Irish Grand National, he ran all over them until the final fence near his head. I just think
definitely the moral winner of the Irish National.
I think he could be a Gold Cup winner in waiting, and he's 20 to 1. So I'd give him the benefit of the doubt at the prices.
What would you back right now for the Gold Cup, Johnny?
Road to Respect. I'd wait with Presenting Percy. I mean, funny enough, he was nearly as big a price yesterday to win that race as he is for the Gold Cup now, which, I think Road to Respect will run a big race. He'll have better ground this year, almost certainly, and see how he gets on at the Dublin Racing Festival. But I think he's slightly underrated.
Nicola, who'd you bet for the Gold Cup right now?
I'd agree Presenting Percy's too short. I think Clan de Zobo looks a proper Gold Cup contender.
Good stuff. Right, let's move on to Cheltenham and the action on Saturday. We'll start with the 225 here. This Cotswold Chase Grade 2 contest. Nicola, how did you bet for this?
Okay, well, it looks really good clash because you've got Frodon in there at 9 to 4, Elegant Escapes 11 to 4, and Terror Fort at 7 to 2, and actually Valtor's in there at 4 to 1, so they're all very tightly packed at the head of the market. Frodon is 33 to 1 as we speak for the Gold Cup, and the highest rated horse here. And listen, he's had a great season so far. We've seen winning in December in the Caspian Caviar Gold Cup. He loves the track and has a great rapport with Bryony Frost. So I think Frodon at 9 to 4 will be very popular tomorrow. But Terror Fort obviously picked up an injury there at Sandown, and if it's anything like what we've seen last season, he could very much be in the mix here as well.
Yeah, a lot of these pretty familiar with each other, Jenna.
Yeah, I love Nicola, but I completely disagree with her. I think this is a terrible race. Where have all the staying chasers gone? Frodon against Elegant Escape.
They're running in Mortal Turtles.
Frodon is one of these horses that always surprises you, always pops up and wins a big handicap. Elegant Escape is incredibly slow. Obviously, he really stayed on to win the Welsh National. But like none of these are going to be winning the Gold Cup, and this should be a proper Gold Cup trial, which is really disappointing. Like we see the Gold Cup market, and there's probably, Johnny, I'd say we could count maybe 12 to 14 horses. You could give a realistic chance to in a Cheltenham Gold Cup.
Nearly in Ireland alone.
And none of them are in this race.
Yeah.
So that's why I think this race is disappointing. It should be a better trial. I think Frodon is the most likely winner. Like he's £9 clear on ratings. And Paul Nicholls hasn't won the race since 2011 with Neptune Cologne, which is a bit of a surprise. But I think he'd probably win. Wouldn't have a bet and wouldn't have a strong opinion. Just disappointed in the race.
Anything you fancy in this, Johnny?
It's a fair point because Terrafor was well beaten behind the mare Shattered Love at Cheltenham last year, and Shattered Love is probably about 33 to 1 for the Gold Cup. She might have a bit of a chance, but
I think she's a place chance for what it's worth.
I like Frodon's performance the last day was incredible in fairness in a handicap like that, but I'm just not sure about this trip being quite as ideal for him. I think he might be slightly more under pressure. I don't think he's actually ever won over 3 miles. And if Terrafor, I remember laying Terrafor at entry last year. I wasn't sure about him getting 3 miles against Miss Parfois, and it was a costly mistake on my behalf. And if you can forgive him his run the last day, I think he's a reasonable chance. I think the race will be run to suit, but none of these will be winning the Gold Cup for sure. The race in Leopardstown at Christmas will be a lot more, or rather in February will be a lot more revealing.
Yeah, you would think so. Let's move on to the 3 o'clock at Cheltenham, and that's the Ballymore trial. And there's lots to talk about Birchdale early in the week, Nick. He's eased a bit at the top of the market, isn't he?
I actually haven't got those.
2 to 1 joint favourites there, Jarvis Plate and Birchdale. But how do you fancy in this?
I fancy Brewing Up a Storm for Ollie Murphy. Yeah, I think this is a proper horse. I think in the Challow, he was just didn't really know what to do. These novices, when the gun is put to their head, especially in Grade 1s, I just thought he looked around and he plugged on then at the one pace when it was over and done with. Champ, I think, is the best novice hurdler in England. He got within 4 lengths of him. I thought that was a good run. I could see him being a horse to win a Grade 1 at some stage in his career. This is a Grade 2. I think he's up to winning this. And Ollie Murphy absolutely adores this horse. You have no idea what he thinks of him. And I think tomorrow, hopefully, will be the day when we see Brewing Up a Storm. I was trying to do a pun there with the name of the horse, but I can't remember the Stunning.
Galway band.
Yeah. Right, go on. Jenna makes a good point about Bring Up a Storm.
Well, Jenna makes a good point about Champ because they should have a good line to what Birchdale needs to do here. As we said before, JP and Nicky have just an incredible team of novices. JP seems to be buying more pointers, and this horse he looks the real deal. In fairness, at Birchdale at this stage, the form is working out very well. Brewing Up a Storm is definitely interesting. This is a race I prefer to watch. The Ballymore itself. I think it's slightly open at the moment. I think Champ will probably end up running there. I'm not sure if it might come a bit too early for the development of Battle Over Doyen. But if Birchdale were to win this very well, he'd probably nearly go second favourite.
Yeah, you would think so. Nicola, do you have a casting vote in this?
Well, the one that we've seen money for is Birchdale, who's now 2 to 1. But it's quite tightly packed. Jarvis Plate's 2 to 1. Brewing Up a Storm's in there at 9 to 4, and it's 14 to 1 bar the rest.
Good stuff. Well, let's move on to the 3:35. This is the Cleve Hurdle. So about 4 to 1 the field here.
Yeah.
What are we making of this? I mean, don't all
the
jump
Staying
in
Hurling
at once.
division is really strange in that Penn Hill, who is not going to run.
It's about to change.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the race I've been looking forward to for a fortnight.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
These staying hurdlers are pack of jokers. The whole lot of them.
Okay,
They're pack of jokers. The favourite for the race hasn't ran since Punchestown last year.
When he was well beaten.
Yeah, and he was suited by the way the race was run last year because they absolutely crawled and he had the speed.
Yeah.
Come on, Penn Hill is a favourite, deserves to be favourite, but these are a pack of jokers, and there's one horse waiting to come out of the woodwork, and it's going to come out of the woodwork tomorrow, and that's Black Op.
Black Op, okay.
Who is a proper Grade 1 horse, crying out for 3 miles. I know he was well beaten by Sam Crow, but he was well clear next destination, who won a Grade 1 next time at Punchestown, and that was the real Sam Crow.
Does he jump well enough though? Do you know?
Well, this is the thing. He's
over
up
3 miles.
Over 3 miles, I think it'll give him a chance. And I think the fact that he's ran over fences, he's obviously not going to be another big bucks. But you can go back to big bucks and see the difference that jumping fences made to him jumping hurdles, if you know what I mean. I just think it'll give him time to get into a rhythm. That run at Cheltenham, and then to go on to Aintree and beat Lost in Translation, who has proven himself to be a proper Grade 1 performer over fences. I think that form is quite solid. We're all looking at Sam Crow and going, this form doesn't count for anything because of Sam Crow this year. It's a different horse, Sam Crow last year and this year.
Yeah.
Black Op is a machine, and I think people should back him now for the Stayers Hurdle at 12 to 1 with Ladbrokes, because I think he'd be favoured for the race afterwards.
Right, Johnny, are you excited about this Cleve Hurdle? Sorry?
It's not a bad race. There's plenty of runners in it at the very least. Sam Spinner, you're getting a far bigger price than he was the last day at Ascot when. a horse who was very
cutting back him.
a horse that was very likeable and now become something of a rogue.
Yeah, but sure, like he wouldn't jump over that table.
We've seen money for him. Was that you during the week?
No, it wasn't. In fairness, that race was won by a horse that's like rapidly improving in Paisley Park. Tentative selection here. I think Holstone has a reasonable chance as well. But if there is a horse to emerge from this to win the Stayers race, it's definitely Black Op. I'm not sure he's going to jump well enough to win a race of this nature. It is competitive. Whether like the Stayers in Ireland and Britain are not much good really. You know, even you looked at the Galmo yesterday. Bob Pome finishing second. He actually has something of a chance now in the Stayers hurdle because there's certain horses out there.
Do you know what, Johnny? I actually don't even think he needs to jump that well to win this because
look, no Feely's on board. He's godly pair of hands, and he'll just guide him.
He jumped early in the Ballymore last year. Like he clattered into the last. He made a mistake at the third last, and he still got within 2.5 lengths of Sam Crow. Like this is a very, very good horse.
Okay. Do you have a casting vote?
They are forgetting about a horse. You haven't mentioned Petit Swan in there at 6-1. Now Dan Skelton spoke to him this morning. Who does a Ladbrokes blog, and he said they wouldn't be coming here if they weren't over the moon with how he's working at home. He's won around the track and the trip as well before. A little bit of rain would be good, but they're so optimistic. Out of all the horses he's got this weekend, that's the one that they're really excited about.
Quiz question: when he was second in the Coral Cup, who beat him? Sorry, other way around. When he won the Coral Cup, who was second?
You got me.
Zabana. Wow, what a show.
Orlando Lynch.
Let's move on to the Sky Bet Chase then, because a couple of you fancy one here. Nicola, we'll start with you. That's 3:15 at Doncaster on Saturday.
Yeah, Dingo Dollar's been kind of clear favourite throughout the week. The ground seems to be drying up a bit now, which isn't exactly what they want. So, but we'll see. It was a very good third in the Ladbrokes Trophy, beating Sizing Tennessee and is 5-2 favourite here. But Warriors Tail's the one we're seeing money for, coming in now at 5-1 from 6-1 for Nichols. He was just beaten in this race last year. He's going to like the ground, and he looked very good winning at Aintree last time out. You've got 007 in there at 11-2. But as it stands, the only one Warriors Tails being backed.
Good stuff. Jenny, you like one here?
Oh, I think the favourite will win, Dingo Dollar.
Dingo Dollar. Yeah, really likeable run the Ladbrokes.
It was, and the gun was put to his head at every single fence, and he came up every time. You kind of said to yourself, God, there's a horse I love. He just loves jumping. And he was thrown into more fences and rushed back up to lead. I thought that was a hell of a run. Obviously, the races worked out quite well. This is a weaker race, and I think a track like Doncaster is a little bit easier than Newbury. I could see him getting away in the front end, and even if he's taken on for the league like he was in the Ladbrokes Trophy, I don't think it matters to him because he's just such a brave lion, and I think he'll win.
Fairyhouse tomorrow, by the way, of course, the Sol Arena Hurdle where we saw Lorena last year and his one with likes of Shattered Love as well. Johnny, you said you looked at this race. Honeysuckle could probably be fab here, would she? Yeah,
we were just talking about it before we came on that she's a real chasing type. I think she definitely wants further than this trip, but I think she'll be very hard to beat. She's getting weight off Willie's mare at the top, who obviously Robin DiCarlo has a bit to prove after flopping last time. The rest of them she should be good enough to beat, but she's going to be a very, very good mare. She's a typical de Bromhead front-running type, and I think she'll take the beating. In the 3:20 Maddenstown, this is a terrible maiden hurdle. I don't know how they came up with a race as bad as this at Fairyhouse. It's basically a 0-100 handicap, really. Even
is this one of the ones where you can't have been placed?
Yeah, I'm not sure about the race conditions. I believe that might be the case because even Gordon and Willie have horse in it that look very, very
ordinary. I think it's for horse that never finished in the first three.
Yeah. That would make sense because Maddenstown was fourth last time, but he was fourth in a very good race and he's stepping up in trip. I think he'll take an awful lot of beat.
That's for Alan Fleming and Barry Collins. Right, that's Fairyhouse. Let's move on to Nace on Sunday. Sorry, you've one more. You like one of Fairyhouse as well. Early on, the 12:30.
Yeah, I do, just because I think it's a poor race. Poor Fairyhouse getting a battering here.
Peter's going to be on to you.
Dakota Moret runs in the 12:30. He's been disappointing over fences, but it's just taken time for him to acclimatise a little bit, I think. He's off 125. Katie O'Farrell takes a few pound off. I just went through the race and I said, you know what?
It's like Black Op, though. He's not going to jump well enough to win, in my view. It's
all right, Johnny, right? It's my turn.
You can't be forgiven these dodgy jumpers.
He's very forgiving, Johnny.
The dodgy jumper double. Black Op and Dakota Moret.
Okay, let's move on to Sunday then. Nace on Sunday. We'll start with the Limestone Lad Hurdle. And Espoir Delaine, look, okay, maybe he's not a Group 1 horse, but he's certainly picking up plenty of prize money at the slightly lower level.
Like, there's people telling me that he's a live outsider for the Champion Hurdle. I just don't see it at all. He's a lovely horse, and maybe in time, he'll prove himself to be a superstar, but at the moment, he's beaten Stormy Ireland, who didn't stay at Limerick. albeit beat him quite well and convincingly. I don't think he's done enough. I don't think he would have won an Ace the time before if the other horse didn't fall. I don't think he's done enough. Like there's blogs tipping him up at 20 to 1 for the Champion Hurdle. I think he could be 50 to 1 for the Champion Hurdle, and I still wouldn't fancy him. I think he could be found out here. I hope he wins because he's got that profile where he's a sexy horse. He's only been beaten once, and if you take away that form, you know, he'd have a really, really good profile. But I just think he's just waiting to be found out. And if Wicklow Brave did come back to the Wicklow Brave we know he can be, and with Willie's horse run a little bit better now, I'd probably take him on. But I just wonder, will this be the day that Sport Allen is found out?
Do you have
I'll
a
give you
thought
some
on
tissue prices.
Yeah,
we
go for
haven't
it.
had them up yet. They'll be up hopefully by the time this is aired. But Espert Allen 6 to 4 favourite, Wicklow Brave 3 to 1 second favourite, and Forge Meadow 6 to 1.
6 to 4 would be very fair because I know he's given way to Wicklow Brave, but like you're at completely different stages of your career here. Like, and the only problem with the performance at Limerick was Willie's horses were so in and out at the time.
Yeah.
Stormy Ireland was absolutely smashed in the betting. But if she did give her running, he absolutely destroyed her after.
Stay though, Johnny.
But she does stay though, and she settled quite
Stormy
well in Limerick.
Ireland.
She does actually stay, and she settled better than she often does in Limerick. I was down there and turning in, you're like, yeah, she's going to go by. He absolutely destroyed her, and that's the one thing. He finishes his races really, really well.
Their second season juveniles though.
That's the 5-year-old Angle. I'm not going to say he's going to win the Champion Hurdle, but I think Salday, who was upsides at Naas, and you said would have won. It's hard to know, but Salday, I think, is a very, very good horse. He's going to reappear at Leopardstown. And then we'll come on from that run, I'd say, to become a Champion Hurdle contender. This fella, if he would be unbeaten apart from that one run that you can put a line through, you can't really knock him. Gavin Cromwell, I was looking at his stats today, he's into over 30 winners this season already in January, which is way ahead of anything else he's done, and we're only in January, you know, and he's a very likeable horse. What I like about him is he saves a lot for the bonnet for late on in his races, and he really should be good enough. You can forget about Forge Meadow if he runs his race, and he should be good enough to give an ageing Wicklow Brave weight and a beating here.
I hope he wins because, like, I love Gavin, and he's a horse that you want to see continue to progress. But I just think he hasn't done enough to deserve the reputation that he's got.
I honestly think looking at Bouverdare is one of the worst prices for the Champion Hurdle ever at the moment, looking at him. He fell in last year against Mellon. He was beaten the last day with no obvious excuse. And there are a lot of dark horses lurking. Even Samcro, who I think is still well worth considering for the race.
Okay, just calm down. Can we just calm down for a second?
Samcro's back in work and he's 6-7 weeks to get ready for Cheltenham. Why not?
Wouldn't it be great?
Wouldn't it be great?
He's going to go off an awful lot shorter than the price is at the moment,
16
in
or
my
61,
view.
Right, let's move on to the novice chase, the Grade 3 novice chase as well. This could actually give us a few Cheltenham clues. Chris's Dream is actually a horse I'm really looking forward to seeing next time out. Anyone else have thoughts on this?
I think this Corama is interesting because I think the race wasn't run to suit a Fairy House, and he probably needs further. He's won at Naas. I think the ground will be more to his liking here. But I interviewed Patrick Mullins for the big read in all good news agencies and online on Sunday, and he was suggesting that Ballyward could be his mount in the National Hunt Chase. Maybe this is the one he has earmarked for the race, but he said he needed more experience over fences. This is another bit of experience. And he's the horse that I thought would develop into a Grade 1 chaser. He's a gorgeous big individual, and I think 3 miles around Naas will be just his cup of tea. So just with the kind of excitement angle in that he could be a Grade 1 horse, and I don't think this Corama is, I just slightly favour Ballyward over this Corama.
Ballyward? Who do you with, Johnny?
It's funny because I've been saying this all week. I think Ballyward is a great bet for the 4 miler because I was looking in it. I think that's what Patrick will end up riding in the race. I'm not sure about OK Corral fully staying this trip. He's so much speed, and Ballyward is just he's slow. He's slow, and my worry about him for the 4 miler is he might actually be too slow to even win the 4 miler.
Yeah, well, because he is taking off his feet early.
Yeah, it does take I remember like Noel Meade had a horse a few years ago in the race and went off mad hot favourite, and he literally couldn't go the gallop because the ground was quite relatively quick, even over 4 miles. Around Cheltenham, you still have to have a bit of class to win that race, and it's a good race now. It's become quite a good race. Miss Parfois was second in it last year, but he's definitely my idea of the winner of the race. I think he's around 20-25 to 1, but he's not my idea of the winner of the race on Sunday. I think Chris's Dream will have a bit too much class from him. This is a gorgeous horse. Navan totally unsuitable the last day in terms of it being 2.5. The track would have suited him, but he did it very well. Clearly wants 3 miles. Very, very good novice hurdler. And I'm not sure about Cheltenham for him, where he might end up. He didn't have a great experience there last year, from what I recall. But I think he'll take the beating here. This is a smashing race.
Yeah, it's a great race.
Yeah, very good race. Right, let's move on to our best bets. Is there anything else on the Naas card for you?
Well, I'd say Chris's Dream will be very popular, around 3 to 1.
Anything else on the lace card for you?
No.
No? Anything else on the lace card for you?
No,
Johnny?
just got a good word though for Limerick footballers. They're playing London. London footballers to beat them is a bit of 15-8 draw no bet or something like that. So
Is that Michael Mulvihill that told you?
unnamed.
Unnamed source.
Yeah. He may or may not be from
Never
Limerick.
back with or against your home county.
Yeah.
That's a lesson.
Let's move on to our best bets of the weekend. So go on, Johnny. You're in the far seat. So start with you.
Why
Three
not?
best bets.
Maddenstown, the 320. I think Chris's Dream will take a lot of beating, and London footballers draw no bet.
Stop, John.
London footballers draw no bet. Awesome. Right, go on, Nicola.
I'm going to go with the Cotswold Chase and Froden, your favourite race of the weekend, DJ.
Yep.
We're also going to go in the Cleve Hurdle with Oh Petty Swan, and in the Sky Bet Chase, I'm going to go with Warrior's Tale.
Good stuff. Jenno?
Oh, I'm just praying Black Op just does what I think he can do. So
Okay.
Black Op at the 3:35 at Cheltenham. And back him now for the Stairs Hurdle, 12-1 at Ladbrokes. In the 3 o'clock at Cheltenham, brewing up a storm. And in the 3:15 at Doncaster, Dingo Dollar.
Good stuff. My best bet of the weekend is Chris's Dream. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll be back again next week for more What's the Word.